Live from the Roar Zone, coming to you live from Marietta. Welcome to the Roar Zone, big man. How are you?
I'm great, man. Thank you so much for having me on this show.
All right, Marcus David, what is going on, man?
Oh, man, I feel like everything's going on right now. It's like a pretty crazy time in my life. UpGrowth Solutions is on the up and up. We're just helping so many people, from the homeless to the military vets to all these kids coming out of college, even high school.
So we're going to talk about all that, but here's what we do on Monster Motivator TV, right? We're going to take them behind that black curtain. We're going to take them to where it all started, right? Okay. Where you're at today, where it started, where you're at today, and where you see yourself going, and then we're going to chunk that down. I'm going to pull out those golden nuggets. You ready?
All right, let's do
this.
it.
Let's do it. So where did it all start?
Man, so I actually came from the Bay Area. So I was born in Oakland. I was raised in Richmond, and if you're from the Bay Area, you know why the hell I had to get out my whole fucking life. You know,
so
like
what's Richmond? Talk to us.
Man, these two cities tend to be on the top 10 homicide list, you know, in our state, if not in our country.
So is Richmond on the outskirts of Oakland?
Yeah, it's about 15 minutes away. You know, both of them are in the East Bay Area. Okay. So, you know, I grew up by a different set of rules, I guess you could say. And you said it a couple weeks ago, like growing up, inner city is completely different. Right. So, you know, to even move from there to here into Temecula is like night and day, you know.
So when did you move?
You know what? I finally had the opportunity to move about 3 years ago. Okay. It took me pretty much my whole life to make it out of that.
How old are you now?
I am 30 years old. I know I don't look 30 years
look
old,
at that kid.
but I'm 30 years old. You know, that's my
up carded everywhere.
Man, I do. I still get carded for everything. But, you know, I guess it's a gift and a curse.
It's all good?
Yeah.
That's a good thing, man.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy it while I can because, you know, one day I'm just going to wake up and be super old, you know. They say that's how Asian people work. I don't know, but I guess I'm going to find that out, right?
Yeah, you'll take it. You'll take it.
I'll take that.
So what made you finally make the move getting out of there?
You know, to live that lifestyle in the Bay Area, you really got to pay to live that lifestyle. You know, it's tech booming over there. I was living in a 2-bedroom apartment, and that was about $2,200 a month. You know, to live that lifestyle is so expensive. And you know, to really be thriving there, you got to be in the tech industry. I'm a businessman, but not a tech businessman. You know, I've been working with a lot of small business. My background is customer service and sales. You know, helping people is what I do. You know, I've seen my dad start businesses growing up and fail and be successful in some other things. And, you know, I knew early on that I wanted to be a businessman. You know, in Filipino culture, you know, generally they want you to be an employee, work at a great company, retire there, have good benefits, all that kind of stuff.
The American dream.
The American dream, right? I was never that way, you know. I think I picked that up from my dad. He's the only one that really started business, tried to do that. And I come from, you know, parents that are both immigrants, you know. They both came from the Philippines. So me and my little brother are the first generation born here in America. So, you know, living with that, you know, we were never raised to have like a rich mentality. You know?
No, you were raised to like lace up your boots and get to work. Yep. Right? Don't whine. Don't cry because nobody cares. Yep. Let's just get it done.
Exactly.
And the thing about the immigrant mentality, which I think is such a great advantage, is you have what I call the dynamic duo, right? Is you're raised with, or you have the mentality of hunger tied in with gratitude. They're so grateful to be here, but they're so hungry to move up. And when you have that combination, it's unstoppable. It's really literally unstoppable.
Yes, I mean, that's really been a driving force. Like, you know, I can blame my dad for the work ethic that I have today. He beat that into my head. Right. You work for every single thing you have in life. There's no easy way out. There's no handouts. Like, you work for everything. And that's exactly how it's been. You know, from the time I was 9 years old, you know, I've been a serial entrepreneur. I started my lemonade stand on a Saturday, was successful, and failed on Sunday. You know, like, you really kind of learn the way that it is in the street. You can't start them on good quality, and then, you know, you give them real lemonade made of lemons, and then you try to cut costs the next day with powder, and it don't work.
Now, being from the neighborhood, right, did you have any time in your life where you went down a wrong road?
Absolutely. You know, when I was, there was a time after college where I was going to UC Santa Cruz. My dad got in an accident. It was 2008. You know, like, that house was on the line. So I had to make a decision. Should I stay in college? Should I stay at UC Santa Cruz? Or should I go back and help my family? And for me, that's an easy decision. Right. You know what I mean? Family, right. You know, but that was the best time of my life, you know, because, you know, when you don't live at home, you don't have those
you're free.
You don't have any barriers. You can live the life you want to live, explore what you want to do. And I had that year, but only to kind of crash down, you know, realization was there. My dad got in an accident.
What, did he get in a car accident?
Yeah, you know, broke that big bone, like his thigh, was that the femur?
Yeah.
Whoa, man, yeah, flew him to the hospital, everything. So I was like, man, this is an easy choice. So I had to go back home, and, you know, we still lost the house, and I got involved with the wrong crowd. I almost went to jail because I was going to these stores and with the wrong people and stealing like laptops and all these things. And I'm blessed to not have a record. You know what I mean? Like that's it, because first and foremost, I made it out of, you know, the Bay Area past 18, which in and of itself is a win. And then it took me another 8 years or so to just even make it out of there for more opportunities, you know. And everyone was just telling me to go back home. But going down that path, I knew, like, I can't be here, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I really do feel like to an extent you are the product of your environment. But for me, it was that mental switch that really was, you aren't. You can really choose what the hell you want to do. I could choose to keep doing this because it's the easy way, but I learned that you shouldn't do things the easy way just because they're easy. You got to do the right thing.
Right.
And, you know, it really took a lot of, oh my God, it took a lot of change to even make it out of that lifestyle, for one.
Was there any moment that was that the aha moment?
Yes, and that was when I got caught with 10 laptops in my hand and 10 different fucking receipts. Wow. You know, like, this isn't something I should be doing, you know what I mean? And for me, you know, growing up in Richmond and Oakland, the biggest things were how to talk to people, how to deal with people, you know, EQ versus IQ, right? Really kind of being able to read, like, their emotional quotient and not just be book smart. This is literally the difference between book smart and street smart.
Yep.
And that's what it was. You know, we had to pay attention to that at a young age. So I talked my way out of it, you know, luckily, but it's not the proudest moment of my life. You know, this is when I was just like,
but
holy
it
shit.
made you look at things differently, right? It scared you straight, in a way, right? So that was your aha moment. But at the end of the day, you always had that choice. You could have kept going down that road, or you could have said, you know what, I need to straighten up.
Exactly. And I was just like, I can't do this to my family. I can't do this to my girlfriend. I can't do this to anybody that really cares about me. This is fucked up. Like, if I went to jail, like, why did I do this for that quick money, for that easy money? It wasn't worth it. I know. And it's unfortunate because a lot of my friends, a lot of kids, a lot of these people back home are subject to that. It's a different set of rules back home, you know what I mean?
It is.
So, you know, selling drugs and selling, you know, all this shit, it was just the lifestyle.
And the gangs.
Yeah, and the gangs, you know, generally you have to deal with all of this shit, and it's just, so I feel like if you can make it in the Bay, you can make it anywhere. If you can make it inner city, you can make it anywhere.
You absolutely can. It's just that it's making those choices to be able to get out and see past the neighborhood. That seems to be the biggest problem. People being able to see past the neighborhood, right? And then once you can get out of the neighborhood, create that paradigm, that mindset, that self-image that allows you to now become that person that doesn't belong in that neighborhood anymore, right? And we see this with athletes all the time, right? Michael Vick never could get out of the neighborhood. Yeah. He could never get out of the neighborhood, right? But then you have other people, Magic Johnson, I don't even know where he was born, but he got out, right? He was able to create that person to now not fit into that neighborhood anymore. So I think it's that mindset. So I think if you could share some of that, once you got out of that neighborhood, you saw, right, how to get out. Yeah. What kind of shifts did you make in your mind to create the person that you are now?
One of the biggest things that I immediately changed was having this broke mindset. I think that's what it was, you know, because growing up, like, we always
the scarcity mindset.
Yeah, you know,
right?
like I think I'm like blaming people for the fact that I'm broke. You know what I mean? That's not what it is. I mean, honestly, I've come to terms that I grew up with just a broke mentality. My parents were immigrants working from paycheck to paycheck. And, you know, they never really had this concept of saving coming from a third world country, you know? So really, they made everything and spent everything like they were a nonprofit. They really made no profits, So that's when my dad kind of, had his shift. Like, I'm tired of, people limiting me to how much I'm worth. I think, and that's why me as a business owner is like so much, I'm more grateful for it today than I am as an employee because, I realized that as an employee mentality, they said, you're worth $10 an hour, you're worth $15 an hour. But as a business owner, nobody can tell you any of that, because your work really kind of dictates what your value.
The market tells you, right?
Well, yeah, definitely.
What kind of value do you bring, right? And that's what you're going to be worth.
Exactly, and that also kind of shifted another mentality. Like, instead of wondering where all these other people fit into what I want to do, where do I fit in to the picture in the bigger scheme of things? In this world, where do I really fit in? Not trying to have the world cater to me, but how do I help the world? Okay. So that really changed my perspective on, the problems that are really out there. Where'd that come
from?
Man, it came from, so I was working at GoStaff. It's a construction company.
You in the Bay Area?
No, it was actually after I came out here. Okay. Yeah, after I came out to
3 years ago.
Yeah, about 3 years ago, I was exposed to really just kind of the high turnover market with construction. I'm sure you know it well, being in that industry. I was hiring the general laborers. Man, they're over here digging in the sun for 8 hours, $10 a day, and most of them could go get a job at In-N-Out, make more money in an AC building. Having to deal with that, but we weren't really doing anything fulfilling for these people. It was just a body on a job.
They were just a number.
Right, exactly. And it wasn't until I really started calling a lot of these people who weren't qualified on paper to find that they were some of the best employees that I've ever hired, and to see that there was just this need for people to increase their paper presence, to just get an opportunity. The difference between you not being able to put yourself on paper and talking to yourself, there's such a huge disparity. And I felt like I needed to help people with that, but it was just a job. And then I went to go do some recruiting for Riverside Community College District, and then after that, the Home Shopping Network. This was the job that really flipped that mentality for me more than anything, because now I'm seeing people fail on a national level.
So talk about that.
Yeah.
What'd you do for HSN, and how did you hook that up?
Man, I was just taking a lot of contract jobs after working at GoStaff, because I wanted to, as a human resources professional, know every industry. I want to know what is really going on generally across all the markets. I don't want to be pigeonholed into one thing, but I know that I love human resources and giving people that opportunity to have a job. Especially when it's somebody that wants to provide,
and
wants to, exactly. So that's what I wanted to do, is really kind of help those people stop failing.
So what'd you do at HSN?
So with human research, I was with Home Shopping Network. I was doing their virtual recruiting. Okay. So I was literally at home in Temecula. They paid me $25 an hour to stay home and talk to people and see if they were qualified for these jobs. Awesome, cushy job.
All various jobs.
Yeah, from anything from their customer service to their distribution centers to all their warehouse people to all their drivers to, really a pretty comprehensive, every position here. But yeah, when I started seeing people fail nationally, whether I was calling Texas or North and South Carolina to Virginia to over here in Ontario with this new facility they're setting up, it's just, wow, it's like that piece of knowledge that gets spread around and everyone thinks it's true. There's not one resume you send to every single job.
Yeah. It's all custom.
Yeah, it's really just like an epidemic out there. I'm like, you have to really cater yourself because everyone else is, you know what I mean? And these ATS systems are picking you out, and you don't know this, and I just felt like the miseducation or lack thereof was really hurting people. So I just wanted to go out there and tell them realistically what they should be doing, what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong.
So in a way, you're consulting, you're mentoring, you're guiding, right? to help them create the best presentation that they can create, right? And then they have to either run with it or not.
Exactly, because what we do is we qualify our clients first and foremost. They need to want this change for themselves first and foremost. And then, what we do is we come up with customized development plans for their careers and really figure out their best options to get the job they want. The misconception is I'm a staffing agency. I'm actually not. I don't hire people. I want you to have this wanting of the job that you want. You know, what job do you really want to work? What's your dream job? So we can realistically find out how to make it there. And we've been doing just that. You know, the system that we have in place really acknowledges your strengths, does a lot of strength finding, and really figures out where your foundation is at. We go a little bit deeper than just going over your resume and your job experience. If we have to go back into background checks and criminal checks to make sure that I need to get an attorney for you for any of this type of these you know, things that we have to, you know,
make sure that,
work with, you know, any of these type of convictions, I have an attorney out there, you know, that will go and advise us what we can do, what we can say.
So now, how do you get paid?
You know what? I've been doing a lot of that out of just the niceness. We're a new business, and really the only thing we've been charging for were the resumes, the cover letters, and just the career coaching. You know, I've been setting up a lot of these job things just because they're our clients, and I'm trying to be nice and make sure they get their jobs. And you know, but right now the business is evolving. You know, we're starting to get to that point where we got to scale the business. We just hired a couple other people on call that are also just as passionate about doing this. You know, it turned into a passion project, but at this point, you know, we've just been giving out services to homeless people and, you know, really trying to get them back on track. And, you know, for the ones that do want it, you know, last Thursday I went to San Diego and was giving out these packets. And I asked 5 homeless people, and 5 of them wanted to stay where they were, you know, and it just blew my mind. But, you know, that's why I'm reaching out to more foundations, because these are the people that at least have realized I need to get some help.
Yeah, you know, and so I think the foundations would be a great way to go, because when you're going on the street, you know, I did that video on that when I did the ride-along.
The ride-along, man.
Listen, at the end of the day, it's a major liability for the masses, man, because a lot of them are on major stuff, meth and PCP, and it's not pretty, right? So I think the foundation probably you'd be able to reach way more people that want the help and are ready for the help versus just going on the street. But I know your intention, right, is to do whatever you can. So I applaud that and I get that. But man, it's wild, man. It's wild.
I thought, you know, because
that's an epidemic.
It really is.
That's
you know?
An epidemic.
And I also just feel bad because, you know, sometimes life just happens to people. You know, did you hear that story about Marcus Malone, Santana's drummer? You know, like when he kind of just fell off because life happened. He went to jail, and then randomly a couple years ago, you see a video of this guy recording this homeless guy, and he's like, I know Santana, and then this guy recording just thinks he's a crazy dude saying, you know, Santana. Really knew Santana, you know, like this was really his conga drummer, and you know, Santana went back out and reached out to his guy, you know, made sure he got back on track, and you know, after seeing Santana do stuff like that, I kind of just knew, like, I need to do something. You know, like
it just called you.
Yeah, and I'm one of those people that, you know, is just talking about how they don't want kids and things like that. But I am really obsessed with helping the people that are here. You know, I can't get a puppy because I'm gonna adopt the ones that are in a shelter. You know, like I gotta help the people that are still here. You know,
you want to help the underdog.
Yeah, so more than ever in my life, I've been thinking about legacy and how I'm gonna help the people that I can help. You know, and it turned into, as you can tell, not even thinking about the money, obviously, when I should be, but, you know, that's our livelihood. But, you know, realistically, it's a passion project, you know. It's a passion project that was created out of necessity, really, you know, because I own a record label on the outside of this. I smoke cigars on another job just because these are the passions I have in my life. But this is the one that I felt like was necessary, you know, because people need the help, man. It's just surprising. I'm hoping I could reach more people.
Well, I think one of the things, too, is what's going to be interesting is I think you're starting it and you're doing it right now at a perfect time because we're in such a bubble right now, right?
Right.
And eventually, as we all know, there's an ebb and flow. That bubble's going to burst.
Right.
Is that 3 years from now? Is that 5 years from now? I don't know. But it will happen. So if you can get as established as you can now, when that bubble bursts and people are losing everything, right? And I'm not saying it's going to be like 2008, but it's going to come. And when that happens, man, talk about, you're going to have a lineup of people, you know, needing to actually just eat tomorrow.
Right. Like one of the big things that I'm hearing a lot about, you know, I'm getting an influx of a lot of warehouse workers and delivery drivers because they're so worried about the 3D printer industry. You know, when that comes out, Do we need warehouses anymore? If you have a whole warehouse full of 3D printers? No. You could print your order right then and there as opposed to having all this inventory. You know, do we have to have delivery drivers if we have commercial printers? No. I'm going to send you code so you can print that out at your house. Amazon will probably never have delivery drivers again someday, you know? And that's, it's weird. They're also saying, like, kids that are born today will never drive. You know, that's like all these skills and all these things. The markets are always changing. And it's something that we constantly look into to try and really find out where your transferable skills are.
And that's your value, right? It's that constant moving target, right? I always call it the evolution train. And people, and because I always, you know, I talk about the fear barriers, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the fear of what other people think, and the fear of change. I think they're the two biggest fears. And I call it the evolution train, right? And evolution train doesn't care if you agree, doesn't care if you're ready. All it says is you're either getting on or you're getting run over.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yep.
Right? And that's it. So you're helping them get equipped to get on that train.
Absolutely.
Right? Because like you said, whether it's 3D, whether it's virtual, whether it's flying saucers, right? Who knows, right? The more you understand, the more you're equipped, the more you become part of it. Right? It's going to happen.
Absolutely.
We were talking about this before we went on.
Yeah.
Like Gary Vee said, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat are ABC, NBC, and CBS. And if you don't understand that, you're lost. You lost already. So I love that, man. That's a huge value that you're bringing, is letting them, teaching them how to get on that train.
Yes. And speaking of the train, man, like I would say that in terms of evolving and taking action, you know, the biggest thing that I'm teaching a lot of my clients is to not be afraid to step out of the employee mentality. A lot of people think that, you know, being an employee and getting a job will solve all their problems. I'm just like, you know what? Some people really are just can't get a job, you know? But if you can't get a job, then you create one. You can always create a job, you know, and it's, what do you feel valuable at?
And I think the other big value that you bring to the table is not, and you know this, right? At the end of the day, not everyone's built to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
And that's okay. But here's what I say. People want to know what people are searching for, that moving target called security.
Right.
And in life, right, we say there is no real security, right? A lot of smoke and mirrors. You think you're security. I say the only way that you're going to create real security, whether you work for yourself or work for somebody else, the more value you bring to the table, the more security you have. So if you're an employee, figure out how you bring more value. So now they need you, and now you can move up if you want to move up. So in other words, even if you're an employee, you can still stack the deck. Right?
Exactly.
Stack the deck in your favor by bringing so much value that, number one, they have to acknowledge you. Number two, they need you. Number three, they want to move you up.
That's exactly.
Is that it?
That's it,
it's
man.
Value,
and I would say that, like, right now, I think even more, it's not even an employer or, you know, a business owner mentality. The complacency is what kills everybody.
And what is that word? I just drew a blank. When you think that you deserve it. What is that
like
word?
That entitlement.
Entitlement
is nuts, man.
Right?
Everyone says that about my generation, all these millennials and things like that. You know, this entitled generation.
But to be honest with you, like if you look back, every generation ahead would say that. But at the end of the day, you know, I always say this. Life, I don't make the rules, you don't make the rules. Life makes the rules. And life says, we don't care what you did yesterday. And the only way you're going to have it and keep it is by earning it. And if you're not willing to earn it, you don't deserve it.
I agree.
I mean, that's 100.
Yep, absolutely.
That's
so
100.
I'm just hoping that, you know, people want to do better for themselves. They want to be, you know, earning more for themselves, bring more value to themselves. One of the things that I tell a lot of my new college graduate clients is that this is the time where you can finally pick your teachers in life. This is when you get to pick your mentors, you know. A lot of people, once school is out, the networking is out.
Yeah.
You know, I hate that. Once work is out, the networking is out. Networking takes a lot of trying. How many friends just fall off the face of the planet because it wasn't tried? You know, like no one tried to reach out to them, and they felt like it wasn't going back the other way, and then you just lose. It takes a lot of trying to network and build these relationships, and you know, I think that's important that people go out there, and you know, I firmly believe that you are the average of the top 5 people you hang out with, but you should also in turn be a more valuable top 5 to them.
That's you hit it right on the head. People don't get ROI on networking. They don't like networking. You know why? Because they're in it for them.
Yeah.
So when you're in it for them, right? When you're in it for you, you're not going to win. Mm-hmm. So if you can go out to a networker, if you can create network situations for yourself, the first thing you ask is, what can I do for you? Mm-hmm. Right? How can I give back? And I think it's so reversed, and people, they fail at networking because they approach it the wrong way. What's your thought?
I absolutely agree with that. You know, I go into networking events wondering who's the next person I can help. Yeah. How can I help you on your project? Right. You know, and you know, switching that mentality was everything, because you know, I mean, a sale is 90% of the relationship, and 10% of a sale is the sale, right?
Yep.
You know, and when it comes down to it, I'm trying to build these relationships and figure out how I could help you with that business. And in changing this mentality, you know, it's opened up some amazing opportunities for me. For instance, I am now a secretary for a nonprofit organization called A Possibility for Veterans. And what they do is they actually help pair our service vets with their service pets. You know, our military vets are over here getting, you know, these animals, you know, they're service animals or therapy dogs and all these things. And, you know, I know you're a huge advocate for dogs, and if you have any rescues, we are looking for some so we can help our military vets get their dogs.
And there are plenty out there, man, and that's the problem.
Right, and I'm looking for you guys. So if you guys could contact me, if you guys are rescues, let me know.
And make sure you post all your info when we jump off. But before we move on, right, to what you got going, let's kind of acknowledge some people, because you're bringing some heat, man.
Oh, what?
Bringing some heat.
Hey, everyone.
So we got Ruby Nunez. Ruby, thank you so much for jumping on. Antonio Mendoza, that's your boy.
Tony.
Tom Lanagard, that's my man. Eternal Roots, killing it out there, making it happen. There's a guy that's walking the walk, right? He understands right now what he's doing is he knows he's walking the walk in the fact that he realizes that the darkness is only temporary as long as you keep moving forward. The only time it becomes permanent is when you go back into safety.
Yeah.
So big time, man. Marta, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Congratulations on your marriage. Big Rich, what's up, big man? Thanks for joining. Tony.
Yeah.
Tony Reyes.
Tony Reyes. That's the insurance guy in the
Hey, man, thank you so much. We had a great Q&A that night. Mm-hmm. We had a good time. Christina, what's up, girl? Marrying the Monster Moderator, what's up? Big Tom, boom, that's it, man. He's walking the walk. I love that guy. Tony, by the way, I'm a big fan of cigars, guys. Premium cigars. I want to thank Marcus for setting up with the Mastermind Network, being our cigar distributor and having our own custom labeled cigars.
Oh, man, yeah.
Making it happen.
Right on, Tony. Appreciate that, man. I'm glad you like the cigars, too. That's awesome.
So, let's talk about this little packet you have here.
Oh,
What's going on, man?
So this is it, the packet. I was out in San Diego.
This is a U and a P.
That's our logo, yes, sir. And we were just giving out these packets. And what's in this packet is our services.
Let's take a look, man.
Right? And basically what we're doing, we offer a huge menu over here at UpGrowth Solutions. But what we wanted to do was
Solutions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we wanted to go ahead and offer 3 free services to our homeless citizens. Really, you know, this is our menu. What are these top 3 services that you're going to find value in? Which of these top 3 services are going to change your life? So I want to give those to you. I'm trying to give these out to the people that deserve it.
Is these packets strictly for the homeless?
You know what? I started with the homeless. I actually did give one of these packets to, her name is Laura, and she works for U.S. Vets, and she's working up here at March Air Force Base. I have one that I just gave to her as well for a disabled military family.
So I like this, man. So it says, congratulations. We want to help you in your journey by offering you 3 free services of your choice. Resume writing, cover letter writing, LinkedIn profile structuring, career coaching, interview coaching, motivational speaking. Love that, man. And it's all, they pick 3 out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6 of them. And they even put on here what you would pay to have this done.
Right.
So big time value, man. I love that.
Yeah, you know, and I'm letting them make their choice. You know, you tell me what's going to help your life the most, you know, and we'll do it, you know.
So then they just fill this out.
Yep, and if they fill that out, I know they're serious. I know they want it for themselves. Let's do this. You know?
Now, this is a nonprofit?
No, actually, it's not a nonprofit. Yeah.
This is your company?
This is my girlfriend and our company, yes,
beautiful,
sir.
Beautiful, man. Love it. And do you have a website and everything else?
Yes, it's www.upgrowthsolutions.com. You definitely come and check us out.
And you're going to post all that?
Oh, yeah.
And so then they can get all this information on there as well?
Absolutely.
Beautiful, man. Love it. So how long ago did you start this?
You know what? It's been about a year now that we've started this. You know, I've probably been doing it really, really heavily for about 6 months.
Okay.
You know, after the end of my Home Shopping Network contract, I was like, you know what? I could go get another job, but it's not fulfilling. I need to do something that's going to change my life and change other people's life. Okay. And that's exactly when I took that opportunity to really do this full time. I've always had these businesses on the side, you know, had the day job, security, things like that, but...
So this is your full-time gig?
This is it. I just decided I need to be good at this.
Okay.
And we did, you know, and then I got some other people that were helping with Overflow that were also passionate about this project, so, you know, I'm even blessed to have a team behind me doing this. So,
love that, man.
So,
you got a whole team?
Yeah, I got 4 people on our team right now. So
love it, dude.
And we span pretty much every industry you could possibly think of we worked in.
Okay.
So, you know, I guess that's why we're good. I guess that's why people relate. It's just because
it's the passion, right?
It
means something to you, so it ties back to that why. Right? It ties back to that epicenter.
Always, because that's part of that foundation building that we have. Is you have to be, you know, you have to have that work ethic because you're about to start working to work. You know, like you have to work hard to contribute. So we get you mentally ready there, make sure all of these factors are on the table, and we have solutions for everything. Foundation's everything. No matter what you do, you have to have a strong foundation. Finding a job is the same. You know, you still need to be able to be ready there.
Say somebody signs up for this today, right? And they start to move forward. How long of a process do you guide them? Are you there for them?
Generally, we start with a month.
Okay.
You know, because we have to do week to week. You know, we have to make sure the accountability is there. You are making the moves. We are adjusting our action plans, and we're, you know, coming up with new job leads.
Constantly evaluating.
Exactly. Okay. There's constant adjustment, you know, because you never know what's going to happen out there on the market.
Right.
The jobs are going to be available and not available the next day. You know, in sales, basically, this is what you're doing with the resumes. You have to sell yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, generally, what you're looking at 8 out of 10 are probably going to say no to you. You know, so you have to be ready even for rejection.
So you have to create that mindset for them to accept, look, you're going to have 9 out of 10 doors closed. Do you have what it takes, right? So in essence, you're probably helping them find their why from the beginning.
Exactly.
To help them create that mindset. And here's one thing I want to make sure that I highlight, circle, and put neon signs around. If anybody's listening to this and you're interested, or you know somebody that's interested, make no mistake. Make zero mistake. If you're not coming at this 100%, stay where you are. Don't waste this time. Because this is a two-way street, right? You got to do your part just like he's going to do his part. So if you're not going to do your part, you're not going to see it through. Don't waste anybody's time. Stay on the sidelines and watch everyone else play the game. So I just want to make sure I'm clear. Just in case there was anybody not clear. So now we're clear.
Right. That's right up there with, you know, if you only have one resume and you don't want to do the work to be perfect at this job.
Stay home.
You right?
Listen, or stay homeless. Stay home or stay homeless. Because if you're not willing to do your part, don't waste your time. Because what you're doing is you're taking up space for somebody that wants to. And that's the real. And that's life. And if you don't like those rules, you're in the wrong world. And that's it.
Absolutely. And, you know, just to touch on that, I really want to thank Chris Smith. I see what you're doing out there, man. You're an amazing artist. And he's one of those ideal clients that I've had, you know. January 1st, he came in.
Is that the kid I met?
Yes, yes, and he wanted to
see
change.
his work, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have him on the show for sure. But he, came in wanting to do the change. We came up with the action plan.
How did you connect?
This was actually my cousin's friend when I first moved. Actually, even before I moved, my cousin brought him over in the Bay, so he's seen where I came from. That might be another thing. He saw.
You felt connected.
Yeah, like he knows where I came from, and seen the progress that I've made, so he knows that I'm serious.
Yeah.
I can help you.
You're walking a walk.
Because you've seen me walk the walk these years. So after coming out here and reconnecting with him and see where he's at, he was just very beat up. The world beat him up, and it's just unfair, because he had a condition, but kids are kids, and that's just how it is. And then growing up, your doctors told you you'd be dead by 16, so you're 23 now coming to me for help. It's just like, you were limited your whole life, but I see that you want that change for yourself, so I'm going to help you. I will take that chance on you. So we did, and today, was it April 20th? 4 months in, he's a successful business owner. He's doing, a lot of commission work for people, doing a lot of logo design. He started from zero, nothing but, a pad and paper, and he's just like, I can't digitize my work, I can't do this. And those, to me, were fear barriers.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I was just like, look, we're going to download Fiverr right now. I'm going to find someone to digitize your work for $5. You're not going to tell me that you can't do this shit.
Love
you know what I mean?
Love it.
No excuses. We did it. He has no reason to ever finish his work. Or not finish his work,
That's right.
Like, I'm going to put these systems in place for you, but you have to be real with me because I need to know what our realistic situation is. I'm going to take a non-judgmental approach. I don't care what you've been doing. I've taken a lot of kids off the street and turned their drug dealing into real retail jobs. You know what I mean?
Because at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, whether it was legal or not legal, they're still entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Right? So they still have that DNA.
Yes.
Now, if you could just move it in to where they don't need bail money every other week.
Yeah,
now they
if we could take this bail expense out of your profits, your revenues, then we're winning, right?
But that's the difference between, honestly, right there is a difference between EQ and IQ, right? IQ is going to say, well, wait a minute, on paper, he doesn't belong here. Look, right? He's just a street thug. But EQ says, no. Look behind that black curtain, baby.
Yep.
Look what this kid can do. Look what he's been able to do through the circumstances he's had.
Right. And that it always kills me that, even those kids that that sell drugs and things don't think it's a business. And it's really, I think people are just, pretty ignorant to transferable skills and the concept. I'm like, look, you set up a business, you got a client base, you came up with pricing, you came up with distributors. I admit you shouldn't be doing this, but we're gonna go and put this into something else.
Absolutely, but that's what I mean. Your EQ allows you, right, to see through that IQ doesn't allow, and that's why I always say, thank God that EQ trumps IQ in the real world all day long.
All day.
So we're getting some good feedback. My man Tom Lanagard, he's an attorney, and he also has the Eternal Roots, and he says, if you can't find a job, make one. Checking out your site, you've got an awesome service.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about.
So you're going to be able to reconnect with everyone, man. Post all your stuff. So before we jump off, big man, is there anything that I didn't talk about that you want to share?
Really, I just want to reach out to more people, at the end of the day, who is the next person I get to help?
Okay.
Really, how am I going to get to you guys? Because it's not a matter of if we will or won't. I got a team ready to help people. This is our passion project.
Execute.
Yeah, so if there's anybody out there that needs help and you feel like you're stuck, you're in a dead-end position, you want better opportunities, you want to move up in your career or find your career path, let me know. I just want to help the next person. That's all I can do, and if that's all I can do, then I'm going to do it well. Right?
That's it, man. I love it, brother. I love it. So we end the show the same way every time.
Okay.
And I'm a big believer, right, that and you probably know this by now, that you can only be in one state of mind at a time.
Right.
So if you're in gratitude state, right, at that moment there's zero room for a victim state. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
And if you're in that happy, joyous state, there's zero room at that moment for anger or victim or whatever that is. And I believe that life makes the rules and life asks the questions. And right now, life is asking Marcus a question. Right now, life wants to know, if you had a choice to live your life purring like a kitten or roaring like a lion, what would you do?
Roaring like a lion.
That's
Man,
it,
roaring
bro.
like a lion.
All day long,
All day.
And life right now says, now that you want to roar like a lion, right, we're going to take this out one way. We're going to take this out Monster Motivator style.
Let's do it.
With
Okay.
the Monster Motivator roar on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Ah! Yeah.